All right, so I'm going to make this video about doing regular expressions. I am in this document, and I went into the first set of practice tutorials. So I'm just going to walk through how to do some of these. For the first one, so basically for this one, you're going to try and write a pattern that is going to match to each one of these things up here. ReGex is a way of writing a pattern that will match files that you want and not match files that you don't want. Basically as simple as that. So in this case, I just want to match all of these, and I'm just going to type in ABC. And so, I mean, actually, something as simple as A would also work for this because it's going to hit all three of these things. The tricky part about regex is when, not that when you want to capture three easy things, but also like I don't want to capture these words. I want to capture just these specific ones. And we'll get into that a little bit here. But that is basically what regex is trying to create a pattern that's going to match to the stuff you want. All right, move on to the next one. So in here we need to get these things. So sometimes it's looking for like what is common in all of these. 1, 2, 3 is common in all of them. So I search for my regex is 1, 2, 3. I'll find all those in here. So we also have a there's a wildcard which is a dot. So it's going to match any character. So for example, if I look in here, let's see if I just do dot, is that going to catch it? See, dot's going to catch anything in here. Let's see if they've gotten. Let's see. Oh, I see what they want us to do in here. I was thinking because there are some other tools we could use in here to just do like any kind of. Well, I guess this would make the most sense. So basically, in this one, what we want to do is we want to match. If we look at these things, they're all 4 characters long, but this one ends with a period. So what I want to do first is I want to say period, period, period. That's going to match. This is a regex character that's going to match with any character. So using a period will match with anything. So we see we have all of these things caught. What I really want to do is also I want to have, and notice that each one of these characters ends with a period. This might be something in regex where you're looking for like the end of a sentence or something. I want to get the last word in a sentence, maybe something like this. So we want to have anything in here, and then here we want to have to capture a period. If I just use a period, it's going to be like, well, that's any white space. I don't really want any white space. I want specifically looking for a period. And we can see here on the left side, I guess it's kind of showing it to us. We can use the slash dot in here. And this is saying, no, seriously, I just want to look for a period. I don't want to look for any character. I explicitly want to look for a period. So we use the escape command, which is the slash and then period. All right, so moving to this next one. They're going to talk about putting in some brackets in here. So when we put in these brackets in a regex, we are looking for, we're kind of giving options for what this character could be. It could be any one of A, B, or C. It can only match one of those. Yeah, I mean, it's just a single letter. So if you want to do something like this, I see that all of these are, so for example, if I did this, I'm going to match everything because it's dot and, well, that's going to match all of these. I really, the first letter can't be anything. It has to be either C, M, or F. So what I can do in here is I can put in this bracket and I can say C, M, F, and that matches these, but then these ones won't match because it starts with a D, not in this, which is not in this group, R, not in the group, P, not in that group. Okay, and then the opposite of this is, so moving on to the next lesson, opposite of this is I want to set a selection of letters that like don't choose these, choose everything but these. So sometimes we want to specify choose only one of these letters, but also we could say the inverse, don't do this. So in this case we're going to say, so we're going to do bracket, and I can notice in here that the letter, like they both have OG in common, but I see that they're missing, that this one has B and we don't want to have that word, so I'm going to do pat B OG. I wonder if I probably don't even need that. Oh no, because this would capture this, but then we need to say it's OG. Interesting. Okay. Okay, moving on to this one, into number 5. Makes this video too long, but yeah, so this is just looking for a range of characters. So if we want to have like, could be the first half of the alphabet or something, or values, well, like it says, like 0 through 6, we can do that using brackets, but then with a dash in here. All right, let's take a look at this one. Okay, so again, a lot of this is like looking through these things and trying to find patterns. I see basically the first letter, and this is capitalized, and here it's not. So what I would say is the first letter has to be in a range between A and Z, and then, well, I guess that's it. I was going to do dot dot to kind of capture these other two. Maybe it's an important idea that we could just capture a word based on its first letter. Well, yeah. Okay, and then moving into 6, we're trying to be able to capture we want to look through the thing and find a word that has a certain like repetition of characters. So in here we're doing this, we're setting what the letter is going to be, and then this is the range of things that we could have, or this is the number of times we're looking for that character. And it has to be in there exactly 3 times. Yeah, or we could do a range from 1 to 3. In here, this would be something like we have a range of characters. It could be one of these values 5 times. So in here is going to look for, we have to have a range. We have z's. We can't have one z. I'm wondering the different ways that we could do this. We can definitely do z. Let's do curly brackets. And we could do 1 comma. I wonder if we just do like 1 comma bracket. This should be like, has to have at least 1. Oh, it has to have at least 2. And then kind of with no ending there. I think if we just did this, it would, well, I guess that would work too, because it'd catch these, but let's say 2 comma. It has to have at least 2 and then no upper limit. All right, so in here we're trying to match, trying to see if a letter is in there like A, at least, I guess we could have released this on the previous one too, like A has to, we were looking for like Z has to be in there at least 2 times. This could be a way of seeing like, do we have something in there 1 or more times or 0 or more times, either using the plus symbol or the star symbol. Plus means that it's going to be 1 or more, star means it could be 0 or more, which probably seems like the plus is more useful because you'd be like looking for something, like has to have at least this many. It has to have at least 1 or more. So I would say something like, for this one it's at A plus, and then I see in here we should have at least 1 C. Oh, let's see. Okay. So I was going to do something like this, C plus, but it doesn't really capture these because we have all these B's in the middle. So we could also say, when I need to add to this, I need to have B star, because it could be at least, it has to be at least 1 A followed by any number of B's, including 0 B's, and then at least 1 C, and that will match all these. All right, I'm gonna do one last one. I think hopefully you can kind of work through these and see, work on your own. But I think this is a really powerful tool to learn regex and get practice doing it in very kind of like neat, tidy little lessons here. Okay. All right, so in this one we're looking for some good ones later on. Maybe I want to skip ahead to some of these other ones. There are some really good, or maybe I'm thinking of a different program that we're going to use too. But in here, so I'm going to try and match these things. What I want to do is I'm going to say I want to have any digit in here. I'm going to say it has to have at least 1. I'm going to try and match this entire thing all the way across. I could probably do just a section of this, but I really want to match this entire thing and make sure I don't match this. So I can see that each one has like a number, and then there's going to be a white space. Let me just look on the side. I think it's an S for any white space. But these are some of my options I can use. So /S will get that. And then I could say they all should have FILE. Now if I just do S, then that means I'm going to exclude this one up here. But if I do S question mark, that's saying, maybe there's an S, maybe there's not. And that actually gets me the answer, but let me do the rest of this too, because it might be, now, and I don't want to do question mark on the last one, I'm going to do this. And that's going to clearly match all 3 of these. Regex. That's kind of fun. I might do one more. You can stop whenever you want. Probably stopped already. Probably talking to myself. All right. I'm just going to do this, and I find it fun to do, so you can watch or not. Let's see. So in here, I'm going to try and match all of these. I think this kind of gets to be fun, so it's kind of a little puzzle in here. So I'm just trying to go like from left to right, try and match these. It has to be some number, has to have a period afterwards, and it has to have some number of white spaces. So I'm going to say it should be S plus. So it's saying there has to be a space, and there has to be at least 1 space. Yeah, I think if I did star here, that wouldn't work, because then it's saying could be 0 or more. But here, we have S, and then it would say ABC, and that would match all 3 of these expressions. All right, moving on to the next one. Now record again, stop, I don't know. Made this too long, but okay, what do we got here? All right, so looking through here, we're talking about how do we find something at the beginning of a sentence and something at the end. So hat's going to find something at the beginning, and then we're going to look for something at the end. So for this one, it's pretty straightforward. I can just do hat for mission. Oh, I need to do capital mission, and that get me the answer. It'd be nice if there's like more than one of these, so you could try and write code that's gonna, or write some regex that will match multiples of these. For this one's pretty straightforward because you're just looking for one. But this kind of, hopefully the next one will do more of this, because I think this is valuable. All right, so actually this is getting into really valuable stuff for like, before we're learning like how to use regex, or like what are the tools you have in regex. I think in this one you're actually learning like practically why might this be useful, and it's a way of capturing it, because now we can like try and match a set of characters, but then we can also say I'm going to extract this information from that set of characters. So in here we're trying to find this thing here. So and I want to, and this is what I want to capture out of this. So I need to match these things, and I also need to extract the right parts out of them. So let's see. It looks like, and it's like a file name, and it has to end with PDF. So let's see. I need to have a $sign at the end. Let's see here. I want to do .pdf, but I want to see it's matching the PDF in here, but I don't want that. I want to do $sign, which will let me know that it's at the end. So I have captured these two groups. I'm like, I've narrowed it down to the correct things. I need to match all of this stuff. So what I'm going to do in front of this, I'm going to say, oh, I made a mistake here, because this really should be slash to let me know we're talking about a period. And then I'm going to say $star. This is a wildcard, and then it's like all of the stuff ahead of this. So we could do probably like a +2. There needs to be at least, this is saying there could be anything, and it's saying there's at least one of something ahead of time. And if we want to capture this as a group, we just throw in some parentheses around this, and that'll capture that. Okay, and so now what we can do when we write our code for this, we can run a regex, run a regular expression, and then we can have access to this group. So we can have like a list, kind of like a collection of all the data that was within the parentheses here. Yeah, building on this, then you can also have multiple groups that you're going to try and look for. We can capture, so in here we're trying to capture 1986, but we're also trying to capture the fact that it's January. So we want to have multiple different captures that we're going to do in here. So first thing is to write a regex expression that's going to capture these three things. And now I could do something, because I don't have to exclude anything, I could do like $star, and that's just capturing everything. But the problem with that is it doesn't leave me with anything to set my groups, because I don't want to capture the whole thing. I want to capture, I want to capture the whole thing here, but I also want to capture just explicitly the year here. So let me do, see, I see these are so what I see here as I look at this is I see there's a month, I see there's a space, so I see letters, I see a space, and I see numbers. So let me break up my expression a little bit more, and I want to say any letter, let me see, I see there's 3 in these ones, pretty common for, I think I could do something like lowercase, maybe, I think there should be an alpha. Wait, I think I can do this. Curly 3. I mean, I could do any character. I could probably also do period 3 would also get that. And then I could do like a white space and capture a white space, and then I'm going to do that. This one's pretty easy because there's a set number of things here. I didn't really need to do the alphanumeric thing that I was going to try and work on. I was going to do these characters, but I think that doesn't really matter here. And then to capture these groups, what I'm going to do is I'm going to surround this part with parentheses, because that's one of the groups I need to capture. So now I'm getting the numbers out, and then I also need to capture the entire thing. Okay, so when I run my code now, if I were to loop this through, I'm going to get some match object out of my code, and I'm going to have access to these variables. So I'm actually glad I'm doing this one. I should make multiple videos though. All right, let's take a look at this one. Yeah, so they're capturing like resolution of monitors. I see we have an X in the middle, so that's going to be our defining point. We could have, I wish they had more variety in here. Somewhere these are like 4, some are 3. Because there's only, each one of these being 4 digits makes it pretty easy. We could say, I could do a number. I'm just going to do a wild card 4, and there's going to be an X, and then there should be a wild card. Let's just do plus. And now if I want to do capture groups, I can just throw this capture group on here. Oops, I got rid of the plus. capture group on here. Now I have access to these two. All right, let's see. Okay, so in here we're adding in some OR statements. Looks like we're looking for like sets of characters in here. I thought this is a classic regex of like, this is saying like it could be cats or dogs. Maybe multiple cats in here because they put a star at the end. I'm thinking about that correctly. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, a lot going on in there. So in here we're gonna try and match these things. So let's see. I think it's just gonna be like I love, and then in here it should be. Are we capturing anything? I think it's just. I'm doing parentheses, cats, dogs. Should work. Okay, I think we're stopped there. Long video, but I hope you kind of use this in conjunction with practicing this on your own.